corner. Once again, takes the checkered flag first, and another win for Casey O'Gorman. But second place, Sean Abel just holds off to the tune of 0.4 of a second ahead of Callum Beach. So 7.330 and 1.27 is your podium, ahead of Owen Mellor in fourth, who just manages to hold off from Rossi Banham, and Evan Belford 1.135 behind Rossi Banham in that race. So fantastic result there. Finn Smart will come over in 7th, just ahead of Holly Harris, with Saffron Watley and Corey staying in the top 10, ahead of Elliot Crosby, Taylor Lawrence, Chris Johnson in 13th, ahead of Carter Brown. Bailey Stewart Campbell unfortunately crashed in the early portion of the race. Bailey will be kicking himself after that, but with another race later on this afternoon, will definitely have chance to go back and take that victory, which has been so elusive so far this season in the Mini GP 70s, round 3 of the 2018 Cool Fab British Mini Bike Championship season.
The original and best British Championships for mini bikes. This is Cool Fab Racing.
Times this season, Garnes versus Foster turns 2 and 3 for the first time.
Mason Foster leads, Johnny Garnes in second, Sullivan Mounsey right with him in third. It'll be interesting to see if Sullivan Mounsey can go with them this time around in this race. Looks like Troy Jeffrey has got a good start into fourth. Luca Hopkins I can see is in sixth, can't quite make out who's ahead of him, but as they go around, Mason...
Second time Johnny Garnes took a victory ahead of Mason Foster, so the point situation, they're even at the moment, but this will extend the gap to another 5 points. Sullivan Mounsey trying to claw back a few more positions, but Troy Jeffrey, a great defensive ride so far with the likes of Kyle Payne, Luca Hopkins, James Rose Jr. and Harrison Desoy all very close together. Those guys very tight. It's getting close at the front. It's getting close for fourth place. You don't quite know what's happening on circuit. It's such a tight race so far.
Kyle Payne looking to try and make a move on Troy Jeffrey, but Mason Foster having to defend that second place ahead of Sullivan Mounsey. They go through 6, 7 and 8 now, all the way building all the time. Sullivan Mounsey looking to try and get the run alongside Mason Foster through the final corner, down across the line, and got Johnny Garnes has got a 0.7 of a second lead, but only around 2 tenths separate second and third. It's mega close. Across the line come the next group: Troy Jeffrey, Kyle Payne, Luca Hopkins, James Rose Jr. and Harrison Desoy all occupy that particular scrap. We got yellow flags at turn 1. Someone has gone down. We cannot see. We got a grass bank in the way. We don't know who it is. We'll carry on looking at the front because Sullivan Mounsey and Mason Foster have got a huge battle on here as they start to reel back in Johnny Garnes. Johnny Garnes has not broken away.
Well, they were about a few hundredths of a second quicker on that last lap from Foster compared to Garnes. So starting to very slowly close in, but working together using the toe, breaking the air a little easier, helps them close in a little bit more. Over the line this time, closed in even more. It was 0.7, it's now 0.6. So slowly but surely getting back to Johnny Garnes. The battle for second is becoming the battle for first, and the battle for fourth is staying the battle for fourth, but still tight between Troy Jeffrey and Kyle Payne. James Rose Jr. still defending 7th place ahead of Harrison McKay and Ethan Sparks, as well as Ronnie Harris. I think it's Harrison DeSoy, the 55, who briefly stopped at turn number 1.
Coming down into turn 4, the battle for fourth, Troy Jeffrey. It's really, really close. So Troy Jeffrey having to hold off Kyle Payne, and then Luca Hopkins in 6th. 7th place is at the moment James Rose Jr. looking every which way. Luca Hopkins on the inside, or nearly, not quite that time.
Getting very close though, over the line. Those three go, but coming up towards the final corner comes the battle for fourth. Side by side between Kyle Payne and Luca Hopkins, almost around the outside.
Sullivan Moundsey's gone down. Sullivan Moundsey's dropped it on the exit. If he restarts, he may be able to occupy that third. Oh, he's so angry. Sullivan Moundsey drops out a third, gets released, bike back going again. That will be annoying for him, out of third place.
So the leaders now approaching a few of the other riders in the race, trying to now weave their way through. This could tighten the pairing them up. They were half a second between Garnes and Foster. Foster with the fastest lap on that last lap of the 49.012. So starting to close in even further. 57 versus 88 resumes. The battle for third, the fourth is now the battle for third, and very tight between Jeffrey and Payne. They're almost together. Straight on. Someone's gone straight on at turn number 7. We'll try and find out some more information on that as and when we can get it. But Troy Jeffrey and Kyle Payne, 3rd and 4th. James Rose Jr. and Harrison McKay, 5th and 6th. Sullivan Moundsey coming over in 7th now for Ethan Sparks, ahead of Ronnie Harris and Clayton Edmonds. So the top 10 now with Sullivan Moundsey in the top 10, ahead of Charlie Tilley, Ben Jolie, Luca Hopkins, Jamie Woodcock, Alessandro Valente and Jada Howe, the top 16.
Leader now Johnny Garnes with a 0.8 of a second lead, and he has got a bit of traffic to contend with. He should be alright though, as they all work their way through. We got a crash on the exit of turn 6. Don't know who that was. Big high side, rider up and okay. Yellow flags waved frantically. Bike recovered from the middle of the circuit. We resume at the front though. Mason Foster, fastest lap of the race to Mason Foster, but the gap is 1.1 seconds.
Starting to close up, but as we have a gap between Troy Jeffrey and Kyle Payne now of 0.2 of a second, it's the battle for third, well and truly now approaching a further portion of the circuit. 2 laps left to go, well, 1 lap and a bit left to go now as well. Getting very close to starting the final lap, and it is going to be Garnes versus Foster, as close as they've been for the entirety of the race. Is the position going to change? Not on this lap, but just building up slowly but surely to come over the line and ready for the final lap showdown.
Don't think we're going to see a move here. Mason Foster's too far back, 1.3 seconds. If he makes that up on the last lap, I will be amazed. Johnny Garnes looks like he may have this one in the bag. Troy Jeffrey, 3rd place battle, well and truly alive. It is him and Kyle Payne. They have managed to break clear of Harrison McKay and Ethan Sparks. So at the front, Johnny Garnes leads, and in 2nd place Mason Foster. We think that's how it's going to stay, but 3rd place, that is still undecided.
Still undecided. The race leaders get very close to the end of the race. Just a few other runners and riders in this race to get past before they can see the checker flag at turn number 8 now. The very tight right-hander before leading to the final corner, as the checker flag is prepared for Johnny Garnes to take a victory. Left fist in the air, waving, emphatic, very happy with that victory ahead of Mason Foster. Troy Jeffrey versus Kyle Payne is still yet to be decided, getting very close now towards the final corner. Who is it going to be? They're almost side by side out of the final corner, nose to tail, but 21. Troy Jeffrey takes 3rd place, 0.155 ahead of Kyle Payne, with Harrison McKay in 5th ahead of Ethan Sparks and Ronnie Harris. Clayton Edmonds will come home in 8th place ahead of Charlie Tilley and Ben Jolie. Luca Hopkins is 11th ahead of Jamie Woodcock, with Alessandro Valente. In fact, Luca Hopkins up into 10th ahead of Ben Jolie. Jamie Woodcock now in 12th ahead of Alessandro Valente. JJ Cunningham breaking into the top 15 to score an all-important point. And Keaton Payne now 16th. So a great race for the AC40 pros. Their second race of the weekend. They will have one more race later on this afternoon. Out next will be the Extreme 200, and you're listening to live coverage of round 3 of the 2018 Cool FAB-Racing British Mini Bikes Championships.
The original and best British Championships for mini bikes. This is Cool FAB-Racing. We're now the official partner series to the BSB. This is Cool FAB-Racing. This is Cool FAB-Racing. Live coverage all season on the Cool FAB-Racing Facebook page and on the website coolfabracing.com.
The Extreme 200s now make their way onto the circuit for their green flag lap, and whilst Gareth Roberts, the championship leader, isn't here this weekend, the fireworks were still out in full force as Max Cook and Elliot Pinson got just a little bit closer for comfort than they were expecting yesterday. A grassy moment early on in the race helped decide the win for Max Cook ahead of Elliot Pinson, with Josh Watley third ahead of Alex Vella and Oscar Pinson. The Extreme 200s, the renamed pit bike class for this year, always provide some good action getting onto the grid and into position, and Max Cook, Elliot Pinson had a bit of a contact, but they shook hands on the cooling down lap. It is going to be just as close in this one though, Kiko.
It really is. It's going to be interesting to see if Elliot Pinson can get any revenge here today. Max Cook, of course, the winner yesterday. Will Howarth as well, he came through good yesterday as well. He was sixth yesterday. Josh Watley was third.
Josh Watley was third, a good result for Josh. And Elliot Pinson, currently the leader, or the leader who's here this weekend, second place in the championship with 3 wins at Clandale a few weeks ago. But Max Cook takes the victory.
Max Cook not on the grid.
Not on the grid so far. That is interesting.
I don't think so. I can't see him down there on the grid either at the front or back. So Max Cook has gone walkabouts here. Race start for race 2.
Green flag up, green flag down, and with a clear front row of the grid, it's left to Elliot Pinson to take the lead up towards turn number 1, but the second row of the grid used that to the advantage. The number 70, that is Josh Watley, now into second place by turns 2 and 3. Weaving left, weaving right, really moving the bikes over, having to lean them quite a lot just to get them turned in. Quite big bikes for circuits like this. Alex Vella into third place so far, so a slightly changed top 3 compared to yesterday, and will only get closer as Josh Watley only got the race leader in front of him. It's actually a lot closer than he was yesterday.
Interesting start to this race then. So we have your race leader as they come down to the line then. Elliot Pinson has got Josh Watley for company. Be interesting to see if Josh Watley will be able to close in. Alex Vella third, Oscar Pinson fourth, Will Howarth fifth, Brandon Payne is sixth, Brandon Perrell is up from 10th to 7th. Josh Ingram, Harvey Claridge and Craig Walker round out the top 10, with Jamie King and Sean Whittaker bringing up the rear of the field. But out front, we have a race on here. Elliot Pinson ahead of Josh Watley with 13 laps to go.
Only half a second in it as they came over the line on that last attempt. It's much closer now, only a couple of bike lengths, but then Alex Vella having to think about defending from Oscar Pinson as well. So Pinson's third and fourth so far, 76 ahead of 70, 621 and 94 for the second time out of 14 in this race. And Alex Vella acting just patiently, weaving towards the right, trying to move offline to try and make a bit of a distraction to Oscar Pinson to try and cover. Didn't work on that last lap. Through turn 1 and 2 they go, and the high torque figures on these pit bikes allowing Oscar Pinson just to close in. The twisty stuff is where it's going to be as Oscar looks to the right hand side up towards turn 4, the first of the left-handed hairpins. They're really crisscrossing around each other, taking different lines, one tight, one looser one, as Alex Vella grabs the curb and got quite sideways on the exit. Now wheeling in Will Howarth, So third place is 3 bikes, could even be 4 by the end of this lap, but half a second between our leaders Elliot Pinson and Josh Watley for the lead.
Alex Vella normally in a scrap like this, normally leading it as well, so it'll be interesting to see if he can defend once more. Bit wide at turn 1, allows Oscar Pinson into play, and Will Howarth waiting there to pick up the pieces if things go wrong for third and fourth. But out front, Josh Watley and Elliot Pinson still half a second between them. Josh Watley was quicker on that last lap. We have got a race on here for the lead.
A fantastic race in the Extreme 200, starting to build up. Third place though, Alex Vella has got 2 other bikes behind him of Oscar Pinson and Will Howarth. Will with a bit of an issue earlier on in one of the other races, so will be determined to get an even better result in this one. Will finished in 6th yesterday, currently in 5th, so has made up a position compared to yesterday. Does want at least a few more, and Alex Vella with a bit of a gap. The bit of a gap not though between Pinson and Watley, just a couple of bike lengths into turn number 4 now. A fastest lap on that last one, a 44.9, just 100th quicker for Josh Watley compared to Elliot Pinson, but that is all you need at a circuit like this.
Josh Watley looks to me like he's lining up Elliot Pinson here, just a couple of bike lengths like you say down between them. A battle for third as well. Alex Vella has got ahead of he's still ahead of Oscar Pinson. Will Howarth there in 5th. They've dropped off Brandon Payne, so 4 have become 3 in that battle there for third.
As someone has gone down on the exit of turn number 6, just got a bit too much power on, I suspect. Yellow flag's about back up okay, getting back on the bike to restart it, but our race leaders approaching the yellow flag sections now, which will close them in slightly. But they are nose to tail now, the race leaders. Yellow flags, they can't overtake in the hairpin section of the circuit, which could be a bit frustrating. You've just got to be a bit more patient and wait your opportunity.
Don't think Josh Watley would want to pass there either anyway. It's very, very difficult. Risks taking himself and Elliot Pinson out of this race. They don't want that for sure. And Oscar Pinson are retirements after that front straight collision, a big old crash. Someone runs on at turns 7 and 8. Rider back up and okay. He may have been traffic, so he was just moving out the way. Meanwhile, we have a real race on, and up the inside we've got yellow flags at turn 1, and I thought for a moment there Josh Watley would make a move on the inside. He tries at turn 2. That isn't a passing place. 5 to go, and this race is getting very, very warm now. It is starting to heat up. Josh Watley will want to get past Elliot Pinson. Yellow flags all the way around this circuit. Dear oh dear.
So there's yellow flags in the middle portion of the circuit, yellow flag at the start finish line and at turn 1, so you've got to really pick and choose your moment, which for Josh Watley is a lot harder to try and decipher where he's ultimately got the better pace to try and get a good run. Up towards the final corner they go. Elliot Pinson still ahead of Josh Watley. Still yellows down at turn number 1, of course, so no way to get past on this lap here. Going to have to wait very patiently towards turns 2 and 3. Can he get it done at the transition? Not quite through the left-hander at 2. At 3, just drops back by a bike length, so his best opportunity is probably as they're going through 3 and 4 now. You've got to get a really good run to try and dive up the inside. He doesn't on this lap, so as the yellow flags taken out now, so green flags in the middle portion of the circuit. Again, it is only down on the start finish line in turn 1 where they can't overtake.
Josh Watley seems to be getting a lot better drive out of the slower corners than Elliot Pinson. We'll see how vital that will be in the next few laps. 4 to go, soon to be 3 to go as they come across the line. Elliot Pinson still ahead of Josh Watley. Josh Watley not making a move at turn 1. I don't think it was close enough anyway. They will be coming up to more traffic as this race evolves. Now 3 to go. Elliot Pinson leads from Josh Watley, who has the fastest lap of this race, but Will Howarth a very, very good third.
Also close battle going on for 5th and 6th between Brandon Powell and Harvey Claridge. Half a second on the line on the last attempt, and the 146 staying in 5th just for now. Getting very close, in fact side by side almost on the exit of turn 7 up towards 8. The first of the tight right-hander before the final corner, turn 9. In the toe, not going to get the move made though over the line.
Those two in their own battle. They've got the race leaders right up behind them now as well, of Elliot Pinson and Josh Watley. So 2 battles have kind of merged here, one for 5th and 6th, the other for 1st and 2nd. Who is it going to be who's going to come out on top? Elliot Pinson launches the bike up the inside of Harvey Claridge, as does Josh Watley. Follows Elliot Pinson straight through. Now they've got to get past Brandon Powell. Peril holds the inside line, and through on the inside goes Josh Watley. Josh Watley has moved through at turn 3. Great move, and Elliot Pinson is now held up, but behind Brandon Peril. Josh Watley timed it to absolute perfection. He has not only got through, but he has also broken clear with 1 and a bit laps to go. Josh Watley looks like he has this race done now.
And as Josh Watley takes the last lap flag, starts the final lap, a very, very opportunistic move, just using the inside line at turn number 4. He saw that there was an opening. He didn't need to be asked twice. He took the lead in great style, and the number 70 now ahead of 76, and has only got 2/3 of a lap in order to take the checkered flag first. It's going to be very close as they come up towards turn number 4 though.
Elliot Pinson building and building. He's not done yet. No one's told Elliot Pinson this race is coming to a close. Only a few opportunities left now though. We're coming into them.
And it's going to be Josh Watley who just makes the lead, as Elliot Pinson very, very early on the power coming out of turn number 6. Got a big slide on, kept it in, but Josh Watley takes a great victory in race 2 for the Extreme 200. Left hand in the air. Very, very happy with that, says Josh. Elliot Pinson is second ahead of Will Howarth. Brandon Payne also very happy, also puts his fist in the air for 4th place ahead of Brandon Peril and Harvey Claridge, with Jamie King just about to come over the line in 7th ahead of Sean Whittaker, Callum Beach, or Craig Walker in 9th, and then Callum Beach in 10th. Josh Ingram is 11th, 12th for Alex Vela, and 13th for Oscar Pinson. Unfortunately, Oscar and Alex having a collision at the start finish line. They're both okay. The bikes though with a bit more damage, so hopefully we will see them back out in the 3rd and final race for them this weekend later on this afternoon. But now we turn to the final race of the morning, which will be for the Mini F1 sidecars. You're listening to live coverage of round 3 of the 2018 Cool FAB-Racing British Mini Bike Championships, the official partner series to the BSB and on the road to MotoGP.
The original and best British Championships for mini bikes. This is Cool FAB-Racing.
So the 3rd and, well, the final really race of the morning, the 2nd race of the weekend for the Mini F1 sidecars head out on to their green flag lap. And once again, Mick Williams, the number 26, will start on pole position ahead of Jack Walters and Mick Lee. It's going to be a very interesting race to see what happens in this one. So far in the championship, Mick Williams has taken 7 straight victories ahead of Adrian Ems and Mick Lee. Adrian Ems on 108 points, 42 behind Mick Williams, with Mick Lee the 44 on 87 points. 82 points for Mark Parker, who is in 5th in this race, so 3rd versus 5th in this race is the battle for 3rd in the championship, with Simon Ibbotson on 61 points. John Hosker and Paul Quarters Sr. both on 54 points, so will also be a good battle to follow, with Richard Davies, the number 11, being a returning entry for this weekend. We'll wait to see how this pans out. 7 laps this race is. We are running a bit early in this session, so thank you to all of the marshals, the medics and the organisers for their hard work over the course of the morning to ensure, even with a few red flags, that we are running ahead of time. Everyone getting ready for the race start. Marshals just making sure that we are all in the correct grid positions. Any predictions, Kiko?
I'll have £150 today on Mick Williams. See how safe that one bet.
And what's your Twitter handle, Kiko?
At MugsRUs, and you can get in touch with us on there.
So, at MotoGP Kiko, I believe, will be the way you can tweet him. So whenever, if you wish to agree to such a bet and win quite high stakes as the race gets underway, the green flag now up and it goes down again. A good start from the front row of the grid for Mick Williams. Jack Quarters trying to get very close into turn 1 for the first time out of 7, but through turns 2 and 3. So far, clipping the curbing just a little bit go the sidecars, making their way through turn number 3. Adrian Ems once again battling away with Mick Lee side by side down towards turn number 3. Yesterday's race, the first race of the weekend, saw them battling very tooth and nail. There's a bit of contact to someone a bit slower through turn number 5 on that one.
Jack Quarters, I think that was, who just had the hold up there. I thought he was going to go with Mick Williams for a moment. He was right on the case of Mick Williams there, but not this time. So Mick Williams then resumes his normal position at the front of this field as he comes streaming across the line for the first time. Second place battle though is one and truly alive. It's Adrian Ems versus Mick Lee. Mick Lee looking to the inside at turn 1. Does he make the move? I don't think he will. Not this time, no. Adrian Ems holds him off.
Side by side between Adrian Ems and Mick Lee, as Kiko mentioned, through turn number 1, but Jack Quarters in 4th at the moment, trying to go for 3rd at turn number 3. Had a cheeky look on the right hand side into turn 3. The double A bait run, very late move on the inside, the right hand side at turn number 1 does make the position, so number 2 up into 3rd place ahead of Adrian Ems. And Mark Parker not too far, not too close at the moment, but it's starting to reel them in as well. So 44-276 and 230 for second, and now the number 2 of Jack Quarters closing in the 44 of Mick Lee. So 4 laps to go, well 3.5 laps left to go. Over the line goes Richard Davies, and very close throughout the field, but the battle for second place getting tighter and tighter lap after lap, with Jack Quarters trying to get second place. Going to sit behind again, a little bit slower off turn number 8, but going to use the toe as he did a lap before. Over the line, 44 still ahead of 2, but 2 has got some really good straight line speed, wiggles around, almost goes for the inside line. The right-handed hairpin at turn 1, he does try to go for a move, but Mick Lee just had the grip around the outside to keep it for second, just.
Mick Lee under absolutely massive pressure from Jack Quarters here as they go through the long turn 3. Right-hander's going to fire them down towards the first of 3 hairpins at turn 4. Mick Lee occupying second place. Behind them, right behind them, Jack Quarters. I reckon Quarters will go past him. That outfit seems to have superior straight line speed, so watch it down the straight, and it's crucial here at Tattershall to get that straight line speed absolutely perfected. You get a big slingshot out of the long right-hander that can fire down the straight as they go through. Now Mick Lee comes through turn 9. It's all about building all the way down the straight. Jack Quarters doesn't even need a slipstream, he's already ahead by the time they get to the braking area. Down into turn 2, they're down.
We've got 3 into contact. There's 3 into contact as they they go down towards turn number 1. In all of this, though, has meant Mark Parker has capitalised and I believe moved up into second place. So as the yellow flags not out anymore, they're trying to push the Mini F1 sidecars to get back into action, but in all of this it means that Mark Parker, who was in 5th, now up into second place, defending from Mick Lee, the 44. This is going to be one where he look one way then the other into turn number 5, the right-handed hairpin.
This is going to be very, very defensive stuff now from Mark Parker in 5th, the red outfit, yellow outfit of Mick Lee, getting held up in that turn 1 shenanigans, but all up and okay as they go through turn 8. Mark Parker runs a bit wide and Mick Lee just sides underneath him, so normal service is resumed. It's the last lap though. Mick Williams is just coming down into turn 4. It's going to be another win, 8 on the bounce. He is making it look so easy this year.
Online on coolfabracing.com, on motorsport.radio and our social media channels at 2 o'clock. So we'll catch you in just a short while.
The original and best British championships for mini bikes. This is Cool Fab Racing.